From Giuseppe Studio, it's the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast. I'm your boy, Scotty P. They, them boys, Lombardi and JP. And wow, 2 games in a row. And against last year's 2 Super Bowl teams. I mean, can they really? No. Yeah? No. I don't know. Let's see what Lombardi and JP have to say right now on Lombardi and JP Talk Sports. Here we go. Gentlemen, how are we? Happy Thanksgiving. I'm wearing my Thanksgiving shirt.
I like it. It's sharp looking, Scotty.
Yeah.
Hey.
Now, one of us. Go ahead. Well,
I was
going to give you credit, but you're going to take it anyway, aren't you?
Oh no, go ahead, please. I was hoping that would happen within the first 32 seconds. So go ahead, Scott. You can start.
Well, one of us, JP, got the last 2 games right.
Congratulations. The guy who's in last place who picks in the Pick'em League, in our little individual Pick'em League. He came in last all the way through the season, not doing well, struggling.
You're bored about the Pick'em League. Who gives a shit about the Panthers or the Bears or the Jaguars or whatever? If that's what the show is going to be, is the Pick'em League, then you're on the wrong show. But go ahead. Go ahead, Scott.
He's in last place. He doesn't care about it. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Go ahead.
Well, I have to tip the cap to the man Lombardi, who picked with not just his heart. He really felt that the Cowboys could beat those 2 teams, and they did.
Thank you, Scotty. Thank you. JP, your turn.
Well, it's strategy for me. I mean, if I pick against the Cowboys win. So you're welcome for doing that twice in a row in 2 weeks back to back. That's why the Cowboys won, because I picked against them.
So piss poor. That's all you have. So terrible. So terrible.
I'm not giving you any credit.
Let's get into this game. Yeah. The first thing, I wish we can flip back to you and your animated way of just saying, he's Patrick Mahomes. He's Mahomes. Listen, Mahomes had a good game. He had a good game.
Not kidding.
As good as Dak. Not as good as Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying?
He threw for 4 touchdown passes.
Okay. All right.
How many did Dak have?
What did he? 3, right?
2, I'm just saying.
2.
He only had 2 with an interception. Mahomes had 4 touchdown passes.
Okay.
So Mahomes had a better game.
And what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Lost by 3.
Listen, what did I tell you this game was going to come down to? They put pressure on Mahomes. The defense came through. They were using a good mixture of blitzing. They were using a good mixture of man offense versus zone offense. They didn't go one way or the other. They were able to get the run game going. And I told you, if they put pressure on Mahomes, who, just to let you know, was sacked, I think, 3 times and rushed or knocked down or pressured at least 6 times, you saw him be uncomfortable. And that was my point. If you make any quarterback in the NFL, it doesn't matter if it's Mahomes or Jacoby Brissett, you're gonna be successful in the NFL. You think it's a fluke?
Well, Chiefs fans will like love to hear this from me, even though I'm a Cowboys fan. Mahomes was 23 for 34, 4 touchdown passes, 269 yards passing. He had a great game. If his receivers didn't drop balls and we didn't get some calls on the refs gave us a lot of calls this game. It was a disgusting game to watch. We got a lot of calls.
Oh boy.
Pickens and CeeDee Lamb created so many pass interference calls. It was insane. Some were tic-tac that I'm a Cowboy fan going, wow,
listen,
I'll take
those guys, they're the best duo in football. And I
agree with you.
And I'm going to tell you
physical receiving core. Give me a second. Give me a second. This is my turn now. I let you talk.
Gross.
Kareem Hunt was held to 58 yards rushing. That, to me, was a deciding factor that we actually stopped the run 3 weeks in a row with Quinn Williams. I'll give you your credit. Quinn Williams has been a huge upgrade on this defense. I don't miss Parsons anymore because we can stop the run. I'll give it to you because you kept Kareem Hunt down to 58 yards. I said last week, Kareem Hunt goes off for 100 yards and they control the possession of the clock, the Cowboys will lose this game. If that happened on Thursday, we would have lost because Mahomes was throwing it to anybody wanted. The play he broke out, bootlegged, and threw it like 30 or 40 yards downfield under pressure. He's Mahomes. He hits those throws.
Right.
Other quarterbacks we played so far don't hit those throws. So the biggest thing was we put it in Mahomes' hands, and the Kansas City Chiefs put it in Dak's hands. The big difference was, you're right, Dak showed up in the fourth quarter and ended the game for the Chiefs. Dak was clutch. Dak was back to being his MVP candidate.
What other thing the Dallas offense did, which was very impressive, and I think you're gonna see this, is this: we didn't let Mahomes get back into the game at the end of the game. We didn't go strictly to the run when it was supposed to go to the run. Shoddy did a nice job with not going to analytics, in my opinion. The bomb downfield to CeeDee Lamb was the biggest surprise to any NFL fan, never mind a Cowboy fan, because here's the thing: we weren't going to just take our chances, run the ball, try to run the clock out, and do the same old thing. They were going to put full pedal to the metal here and see what was going to happen. We were going to either lose with his arm or win with his arm, and that's what we did. And I was really, really happy to see that.
And I'll give this a CD. It was his redemption game, right? He came out with 7 catches, 112 yards, and a touchdown. He looked back to being the CeeDee Lamb, the #1 receiver in the Dallas Cowboys. Pickens had a slow start, and he blames the AT&T Stadium with the sun glaring through. He couldn't see. That's why he struggled in the first half. To me, all about a baloney. But anyway, Pickens and CeeDee Lamb in the fourth quarter were clutch. They made great catches to keep us getting first downs and running the clock. A guy that we don't talk about, who got drug tested, by the way, the NFL drug tested him randomly today, was Malik Davis. He had that 43-yard touchdown run, which came out of nowhere. Now, Javonte Williams had a good game. He was rushing the ball and getting yards. He was averaging over 5 yards a carry.
17 for 60. He was all right. He wasn't great.
He did great. But Malik Hooker with that 43-yard touchdown run, that was awesome. That came out of nowhere. Nobody predicted before the game. You said, "Hey, Malik Davis is going to get a touchdown in this game." You would never predict that. It was an awesome run.
We have to, over the last couple of weeks, Jaden Blue, Blue, is not even suited up or not even playing. So Malik Davis is
coach's decision. Yeah,
and Malik Davis is the #2 guy now. So it's this kid's going to get more touches, and he's. Do
you remember
when he played last year and the year before? He played well as the #2 or the #3 back.
Do you remember you and I in Green Bay at Lambeau Field, and Malik Davis had a great game that day, backing up Tony Pollard when Zeke was out. So it's one of the things we see Malik Davis live in person. He always was a hard runner, kind of like a Rico Dowdle kind of runner, like a very physical runner. But yeah, he kind of just definitely took that #2 spot with Miles Sanders going down early in the season. Jaden Blue didn't really do anything to this point this year. He's been kind of a bust for us. And then the other kid we got from Clemson, Maffa, he hasn't even played. So thank God we have Malik Davis on the practice squad. Brought him up, and he's been looking great.
I'm super surprised that you haven't brought up the big piece that I thought was a huge win for the Dallas Cowboys defense was Travis Kelce with only 5 catches and 45 yards with 1 big touchdown, obviously, as we know. But to hold Travis Kelce, the go-to guy for Patrick Mahomes, to 5 catches over 45 yards and 1 touchdown, that's pretty big. That's pretty big, a big deal. You know, Rice ate us alive. I'll give you that. Pacheco didn't play very well. What did Pacheco have? 3?
He's hurt.
Well, whatever. I mean, my point is that really it was the Patrick Mahomes Rice duo. That was the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Kelce had some big drops toward the end. I mean, right in his hands, he dropped it. Couldn't believe it. I mean, not many swipes up to Taylor Swift in the box. Thank God. For Thanksgiving, thank God she wasn't there, because she missed a Kansas City Chiefs loss. No, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that the defense really stepped up in big situations. I thought we kept going 3 and out in offense. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna turn us over to Eberflus in that defense. We're gonna get killed. And somehow, some way, refs or no refs, we made some stops to keep us in that game. And when it came down to matter, Aubrey, the best in the business, we had the best kicker in football. There's anybody close to Aubrey in the NFL, and he locked it down for the win. It was such an exciting game to watch. And I was on the edge of my seat because Mahomes can take over a game in seconds. And listen to Tony Romo put those thoughts in your head, like, here we go. Here's Mahomes coming. Here's Mahomes coming. Is Tony Romo a former Cowboy or a former Chief? I don't know.
You get my the 3 of you or the 2 of you get my text messages. I got him. Turned into a Tony Romo hater, and I used to love Tony Romo.
Yeah.
And the
he was just saying. Wait a minute. He was just saying what you were saying last week, JP. He was repeating those like exact words that you said.
I know.
You
It just
forget.
sucks being a
You
Cowboys
get
fan, hearing
dementia.
hearing your former
Dementia, sorry.
quarterback take the Chiefs side over the Cowboys side. But
was
the
terrible.
big, yeah. And as we look forward to the Lions, the biggest thing, we didn't go over headlines, but the biggest thing coming back is that Diggs is looking to come back this week. Now, Jerry Jones committed him to coming back, but Shoddy kind of took a step back and said, whoa, we'll evaluate Diggs in practice this week to see if he's ready to come back, because he's still recovering from his knee injury from the offseason, and he has been in concussion protocol for the last 4 weeks. So his practice window has opened, and he can return to the field this week if the coaches feel he's ready. So that could be huge for an uplift to go into the Thursday night game against the Detroit Lions this week.
Yeah, and even if he's ready, to be honest with you, if he's ready, who knows what's going to happen with St. Brown? Obviously, we all know he got I think it was a low ankle sprain, and I think he's 1 or 2 weeks potentially not going to play. Potentially 1 or 2 weeks out. But even if he does play, no kidding. Even if he doesn't play, or even if he plays, excuse me, I'm not even sure that Trevon Diggs is the right matchup for him, even hurt coming back. Maybe he gets some reps. Maybe we slowly get Trevon Diggs back into the game. Maybe he's learned how to tackle and get involved. But I'm not really so sure that Trevon Diggs is the guy to if St. Brown is in the game, is to put on St. Brown.
I just feel like we just need help in the secondary. I'll take anybody, even if he's on a snap count. Like what kind of Overshown came back, only played 30 snaps his first game. I would take Diggs on a 20 snap count just to get him in the game, get him starting, get ready, because for down the stretch we need him. I don't care his attitude issues and his commitment to Parsons and all those things that he's been kind of a disappointment over the last couple of years with injuries in his demeanor on and off the field. But he's a talented player. We gave him money for a reason, because he was a lockdown corner. He makes plays. He goes out there and gets these crazy interceptions because he takes risks that no other cornerback will play more conservative. He plays more aggressive, which I like Diggs for those kind of things.
You say that, but the only time that we saw that was 1 to 2 years prior to, and just hear me out. I'm just going to say this. We haven't seen, and that's the argument we have quite often, where, Dan Quinn had this defense. Dan Quinn had this defense. We haven't seen the Trevon Diggs of the Dan Quinn days since Dan Quinn, for lack of better terms. He had 1 to 2 good seasons where he was an all-pro, and that's where he made his money. I haven't seen that Trevon Diggs. I hope to see him. I think he's a great ball player, but there's no guarantees. And you are right. I do agree with you that in order to get him back up on his feet, and we will need him down the stretch if we are a contender, which who knows if we are going to be or not, but he does have to get those reps. So I do hope he comes back this week. I do hope he gets his 20, maybe 25 snaps and start to ease him back into the system.
All right, gentlemen. Go ahead, JP. Your rebuttal here real quick, and then we'll take a moment.
I just think with all the injuries on this defense going up to this point, that anybody we can get back and get on this active roster to help us make this run, this impossible run, to somehow make the playoffs. Because again, yes, the NFC East division, because the Eagles lost on Friday, is now up for grabs. We're only a game and a half back. We can make this up. And the Eagles have to play the Bills, and they have to play the Chargers, which are not lock wins for them either. So what I'm saying is that if we can get anybody back we can get, let's make this run. Let's see what can happen. All of a sudden, we're all optimistic about making the playoffs because how we looked the last couple of weeks.
All right, good. I got a question for you on that. But first, we want to take a moment to thank all our listeners that come back and check us out every week in, week out. You can find us anywhere you find podcasts. Be sure to subscribe, follow, and like us. We thank you. And come back and get your Cowboys news, information, and opinions right here on the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast. And with that, let me remind you, the Lombardi and JP Talk Sports podcast is powered by Lee Creative Media. Ready to make your brand unforgettable? At Lee Creative Media, LLC, we create scroll-stopping, stunning photography, high-impact video, and bold social media that gets results. Lee Creative Media, where your story gets seen. All right, JP, you talked about getting, anybody back on defense. You're happy to get them. I want to talk about a little bit about what we saw with the defensive line, and in particular the offensive line of the Chiefs, because they were banged up and they continue to get banged up throughout the game, and what we saw from the Lions offensive line on Thanksgiving in game one on Thanksgiving Day. Also did very poorly protecting the quarterback. What are your biggest concerns facing the Lions? What do you expect to see? You expect to see a repeat performance by the defensive line against an offensive line that has struggled as of late, just like the Chiefs did? What's the key to the games coming up with the Lions?
Well, I feel like, the Lions did struggle on Thanksgiving. The Packers were all over Jared Goff all day long, including the guy that we talk about, Micah Parsons, was all over him. Micah, all over Goff the whole day. Had 2.5 stacks. Was player of the game. They just give him trouble. My biggest concern is Gibbs and Montgomery. How can we stop those guys? Now, the last 3 weeks against the Raiders, the Eagles, and the Chiefs, were able to stop the run, but having a 2 tandem back, what they call them Sonic and Knuckles, in Detroit, those guys scare me. Gibbs is a complete back, and Montgomery is a power back. I feel like it's one of those things where I don't know how Quinn Williams and Kenny Clark are gonna go against them. They are way better than Hunt. Barkley's having an off season, and Gentry has been lost this whole season. So I think this is going to be a good test for our defense to see if we actually can stop the run against a good team, because the Lions are 4th in points per game on offense. They are a top 5 offense in the NFL. This is a great test. Now, offensive yards per game, they're 5th. Passing yards are 8th, and rushing yards, they're 5th. They are top 10 overall. They're one of the best offenses in the league. And we are one of the best also in Dallas. But can our defense stop a top offense? Let's see.
Without their number one receiver, Lombardi?
You kill me. Like when we were listening to you 3 weeks ago and you were like, I don't trust the Cowboys. And you know what? I'm picking the Raiders. Because Genty's going to run all over them. This is where Genty's going to, step his game up. He's having a down year.
I said
whatever. If we have to pull it up, that's fine. It's my turn, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So here's the deal. The deal is this. It's Genty, and then all of a sudden we beat the Raiders. And then you know what happened was, oh, wait a minute. They were the Raiders. And I agreed with that because they were the 12 Raiders or whatever they were at the time, 2-10 or whatever they were. They stunk. They stink. They still stink. Then we move on, right? We move on. And who do we face? Go ahead. Who do we face?
The Eagles.
The Eagles. And I hear about, oh, God, Saquon, this is when he's going to turn it on. And, Saquon, and we can't stop the run. And you can't prove me. And guess what? I'm going to pick against the Cowboys because now they're playing a contender. Jalen Hurts is not a quarterback. He's a runner. So now we have Saquon Barkley and we have Jalen Hurts. When he's out of the pocket, he's going to run all over us. We're down 21-0, and we come back and beat them 24-21, and the defense held up. Then we go into Thanksgiving and play yours truly. Go ahead.
Chiefs.
And the Chiefs, and I heard about Mahomes and how he rolls out of the pocket and how he's the best, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are the Chiefs, the 6-6 Chiefs are the Chiefs, and all this garbage. Now we're going to week 4. Let's call it week 4 for the sake of our listeners. And now we're going to play the Detroit Lions. And granted, the Detroit Lions are a great team. They're leading their division. They're going to the playoffs. And all I have to hear is Knuckles in whatever you come up with. I mean, this is absolutely you were out of line. You're out of line. You're lucky that people still listen to us after you spew.
Do you have earwax in your ears?
Annoying.
Hold on,
right now.
Joe. Seriously, do you have earwax in your ears? Because I've never said the running backs. I say the quarterbacks have been killing us all year. The quarterbacks. And Jalen Hurts did run on us, got 2 touchdowns. And Patrick Mahomes did run all over the field, had 4 touchdown passes, hit all the throws that he had to hit to keep him in the game.
How are we winning these games then? How are we winning these games?
It's a miracle. Honestly, it's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
And I'm telling you, I'm staying by it. If I pick against the Cowboys, they win. If I choose another team, they win.
That's a personal problem. JP, that's a personal problem. That's not a Dallas Cowboy problem. It's not my fault you're bad luck. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you.
My whole life.
These years, that's all we had to do was get rid of you as a Cowboy fan, and we would be winning.
I'm still a Cowboys fan.
Are you sure? Holy
Yeah, oh
cow.
yeah.
So listen, here's my final take on the Detroit Lions. We can beat the Detroit Lions, and we're playing better than them right now. I'm not saying we're a better team. We are a better team than the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's why I picked the Dallas Cowboys. I'm telling you right now, we're not necessarily a better team than the Detroit Lions, but as of right now, and Scotty made it clear, their offensive line is down. Our defensive line is playing well. They're hyped up, and they're going to put pressure on Goff, and Goff is not a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to make more mistakes, and we're going to be able to get to him. He's not as versatile, and he's not as quick, and he can't move like Patrick Mahomes can, and you're going to see our defense come up big again, not because we're better, but because we have a better opportunity right now.
We're only a half game better than Chiefs per record, just putting it out there. And I think you're totally right. Right now, we're one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and everybody's picking the Cowboys to run the table. I want to see it happen. I'm with all the Cowboys fans across the nation. I want to see them run the table. And that the NFL is better when the Cowboys are in the playoffs or in the discussion. They are better. When the Cowboys are out of the playoffs, the NFL is not as lively. It's not much fun watching Stephen A talk about other teams, right? You want the Cowboys in the conversation. You want to see if they can get past the first two rounds of the playoffs to go to the NFC Championship game. Do I believe this roster can do that? Do I believe this roster can do it? I'm praying. I am praying as a Cowboys fan they can do it. But it's so hard when you drop so many early games against the Cardinals, against the Panthers, against the Bears, on games that we probably should have won. Now, they're having great seasons, those teams, besides the Cardinals. The Panthers beat the Rams, and obviously the Bears are top in the division. So, like, they're good teams. But at the time we were playing them, people were picking the Cowboys to win those games. And we didn't do it. We dropped too many games.
You're missing. Like, we're going backwards, and this is what I don't understand why you want to do this. We're going backwards, and we've already discussed the depleted defense that we had, and we just saw all the injuries. And it wasn't just, it's just not Quinnen Williams that has come, or Clark that's been, or Murray, or whoever that you want to talk about that's joined the Cowboys, that now that all of a sudden we're an average to okay defense. We've had a lot of injuries through the ways. So losing those early games was not the Dallas Cowboys. I think we're playing more like the Dallas Cowboys now with our players at full strength. We're probably playing over our heads a little bit. And here's the thing. Don't kid yourself. There's no doubt in my mind, even if we run the table, that doesn't mean we're going to make the playoffs. I'm just telling you right now that we look like we can beat anybody because we can. And right now, the Detroit Lions aren't as good. I'm not saying they're not better, not as good as the Dallas Cowboys. And now's the time to get them. And then you take St. Brown. I mentioned it earlier. You take St. Brown out of this lineup, JP. Who is he going to? Okay, you got your two running backs, but who is Goff going to throw it to?
Jameson Williams, Tesla, all those guys. They look good on Thanksgiving.
They're good.
Jameson Williams goes crazy.
They're not St. Brown. Come on, they're not St. Brown. St. Brown's a top 3 receiver, right?
Williams went off last week. Went off on the Packers defense.
Now, why don't you just pick the Lions?
Here's the scary thing. Here's the scary thing. Because they just won these last 2 games, this brutal stretch that we talk so much about, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Lions, even if they lose against the Lions, they could still win out Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants and still get to 10 wins. And you got to imagine the way this year, I mean, it's crazy. The just who's winning what weekend. And I mean, the parity, it's always been like that. But this year is just really nuts. They can easily make it in with 10 wins.
My closing thought is this. If the Cowboys beats the Lions, I'm looking at the division more than I am looking at a wild card spot, because the wild card spots are all going to be tough. All those teams right now have 8 wins in the wild card spot right now. We have 6. The only way we can do this if the Eagles drop a couple games like they did a couple years ago, and we sneak in and take the division and then go to the playoffs that way. I think the wild card spot is tougher to get them to win the division, because the Eagles look a complete mess right now, and they have 2 big games.
That's fine, but I also think it's too early, just because of what Scotty said. He has a valid point. Because of what's going on right now, and from week to week, it is so unpredictable. It really is unpredictable. I mean, everybody's in the same kind of realm of except for like the Patriots and obviously, Denver has a great record, whatever. But my point is that there's a lot of teams in this 6, 7, 8 game win category. And I think from week to week, like Scotty said, you don't really know what's going to happen. So I have to tell you something, to even try to predict whether it's going to be a division or whether it's going to be a wild card spot is absolutely absurd, because until, and I don't know, like the thing I disagree with Scotty is that I don't know if we win out and we make the playoffs just for that reason. Do I want to make the playoffs? Of course I do. And you know what? It's about the teams that get hot at the right time that roll. And right now, it's really exciting to watch the Dallas Cowboys roll, to beat the contenders that were in the Super Bowl last year within a 4-day span, to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't care where they are, they were in the Super Bowl, and the Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions, and to know that in a four-day span to come back and beat them where we were and where we're going is pretty impressive for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I think 10 wins. I think they can afford to lose one and still make the playoffs. But again, they can only win one of these final games. But all right, well, let's try to put our predictions to the test then in this crazy NFL season that we have, and let's get to our pick'ems. Let's start with a battle of the NFC North leaders, the surprising Chicago Bears, 9-3 Bears at the 8-3-1 Packers. Who you got, Lombardi?
It's funny. I think the Bears have been playing so well, and it's fun to watch them win, I guess. But I got to be honest with you, I think they're due to lose. And I think the Packers are riding a high after that Lions game. So I think the Packers beat the Bears this week.
I have the Packers beating the Bears as well.
Oh, okay. Well, you just said it for all of us. I have been picking against the Bears most of this season, and they've proven me wrong. I'm going to be, whether for stubborn reasons or other, I am going to go with the Packers and see if the Bears prove me wrong once again. All right, Packers across the board here on the show. Second game, AFC South leaders matching up, both tied atop the division at 8-4. The Colts at the Jags. JP, who do you like in this one?
It's been a couple of tough games for the Colts the past couple of weeks. I mean, losing the Chiefs and losing to the Texans this past weekend, but I'm going to take the Colts over the Jaguars.
And I'm going to have to, unfortunately, agree with them. I just don't think the Colts. I don't see the Colts going on a huge slide. They're too good. They're too good. They're gonna turn things around and get a W.
Yeah. Even with Danny Dimes a little beat up, he's playing in pain. That could be a major reason, but you hand the ball off to Taylor and you watch him go, and I can't go against you. I got to go with the Colts as well. All right, so 2 games in a row. We have no difference of opinions here. All right, let's see if Game 3 will bring it out in us. NFC-AFC fight on Monday Night Football between the 8-4 Eagles on a 2-game losing streak and the AFC playoff contender, LA Chargers. Who you got here? Lombardi, you want to go first?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to shock the world, and this isn't because it's my heart and not my brain, JP. This is going to be, you love saying that. That's so weird, by the way. Don't say that anymore. Anyways, it's not the heart.
Weird.
It's because it's not the heart, it's the brain. I've been on fire with these pick'ems, and I'm gonna go harder with this. The Chargers beat the Eagles, and the Eagles go 0-3.
I think the Eagles are going to beat the Chargers, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
All right, so we got Chargers and we got the Eagles. All right, I am going to go. By the way, the Chargers are 8-4. They also are a little beat up and have shown that some weaknesses and some cracks, but so have the Eagles, right?
They don't have an offense, Scotty.
What's that?
The Eagles don't have an offense. Remember that.
They don't have an offense. Right now, they have not shown an offense. At least the Chargers have been showing an offense. I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to say the Eagles are going to go on a 3-game losing streak. They're going to open the door for the Cowboys. Let's go, Chargers. All right.
I love you.
And finally, the Thursday night football game of the week. Our 6-5-1 Cowboys against the third place in their division. Third place, 7-5 Detroit Lions. Who would have thought we would be saying that the Lions were going to be in third place in their own division? JP, you want to go
On
first?
my turn. Yep.
So I feel like the Cowboys have been playing a lot better the last couple of weeks. They are on a 3-game winning streak against the Raiders, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. And we have stood strong on defense. But I do feel that the Detroit Lions are a top offense. It does scare me. They have a great running game, and Jared Goff is a good quarterback. So I don't think we're going to pull this one out, but I think we can lose one and still make the playoffs. But I'm taking Detroit Lions over the Cowboys on Thursday night. And again, I hope I'm wrong for the 4th week in a row. I hope I'm wrong. But after that Cardinals loss, I have not felt great about the Cowboys, picking them the rest of the year. So I'm going Detroit Lions over the Cowboys.
Lombardi, I'll save you for last. Last week, we let JP go last. And because JP just said all of the things that I was thinking, other than the fact that, are we going to see this front defensive line be able to stop the run like they have the last 2 games? I'm just not convinced yet. I know this is a little different defense than the first half of the season. I'm not going to go back in time because I do think they're better with Overshown. The speed that he shows from sideline to sideline is absolutely incredible. That plus the 3 big ones up front stopping the run. But I think I just think it's too much to ask that the Lions are going to lose again. I don't think they're going to go into a 3-game losing skid. So I'm going with the Lions and hope I'm wrong.
You both disappoint me.
Keep it going, Lombardi.
Completely. You disappoint me to the point where I am so disheartened, disgusted, and sad. Sad is the word right now.
Are you reacting with your heart?
100%.
Here we go with this heart
Or
thing,
your
man.
mind? Which is it?
I'm going to tell you the defense, not only on the line, Scotty, you were almost there. The defense on the line is playing well, but we're filling gaps. And that's what's important right now. There are guys that are filling gaps, and guys like Overshown in the secondary are able to tackle in space. And that's been the difference with regards to the defense. We couldn't tackle. We didn't touch anybody for 8 yards, 5 to 8 yards. Backs were getting through the line without being touched. They are being touched, not only touched, they are being tackled in space, and that is the big factor. This defense is playing a lot better, and they're going to ride that into Detroit, and the Cowboys are going to get their 4th win in a row.
I hope you're right. I want to see it. I want them to prove that this is not just a flash in the pan. This is not just a wave of emotion they're riding after the Neyland death that brought them together. If it brings them together, let's hope they ride that and that togetherness and the cohesiveness all the way into the playoffs and past the first round. All right, gentlemen, last thoughts. Any final parting thoughts here before we say goodbye?
I think we're good. I mean, I just want to tell everybody to keep watching our shows and like and follow subscribe to all of our podcasts. We can hear them. We're on there. So please keep listening. And we appreciate all we're so thankful for everybody and giving us an opportunity to do this podcast and cheer for our team. And even though Lombardi calls me a non-Cowboys fan now, I do love the Cowboys for my entire life. Never going to change. I'm just trying to be realistic here.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm going to echo what JP just said because we just have a fun fact for you folks. We've been doing this podcast, and we're getting more subscribers and more followers, and I guess we're up almost at 1 million views. Thanks to everybody out there, and the comments have been awesome. It makes me want to get up there and continue to comment back and have some good banter. So I just want to say thanks for making this a lot of fun for not only myself, but Scotty and JP. It's been a lot of fun. Thanks for the support.
Yeah, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for commenting. Please continue to come back and let us know your thoughts. We are in the heart of it right now. I'm riding the heart theme here. We are in the heart of the schedule. We're going to ride it all the way to the end. So thanks for checking us out. Come back again.